Tonight, we are going to spend some quiet time in a small house in the village of Nazareth, in the years when Jesus was a child, and watch, gently, how a mother named Mary raised him through the ordinary holy days of his childhood. There will be no great events tonight, no angels, no long journeys, only the small, tender, everyday things of a child growing up in a loving home. The first steps, the first words, the shared meals, the bedtime psalms, the quiet, repeated, faithful love that fills the ordinary days of a family. You do not need to know the Bible to be here. You do not need to remember anything or do anything at all. You only need to rest and let the gentle, ordinary peace of that little home in Nazareth settle over you and carry you down into sleep. Break time, Loc 3s. So wherever you are lying now, let yourself grow heavy. Let the day set itself down. Take one slow breath in and let it go. Break time, Loc 3s. Thank you for being here at Lamplight Scripture. Let us begin. When we lie down at the end of a long day, so often the mind keeps working. It goes back over what was said and done. It runs ahead to tomorrow. It will not grow quiet, even when the room is dark and still. But the home we are about to enter knew a different rhythm. The slow, unhurried rhythm of a family's ordinary days. The lamp lit each evening, the bread broken each night. The child washed and fed and held and put to bed. The small, repeated, faithful things that fill a life and quiet a heart and teach it slowly how to rest. Let that gentle rhythm slow your own heart now. There is nothing urgent here, nothing to finish, nothing to solve, only the warm lamplight and the quiet house and the ordinary, holy peace of a family at the end of the day. Let it carry you the way it carried the child Jesus night after night down into sleep. Picture the little house in the soft light of the evening. It is small and plain and made of pale stone, like all the houses of Nazareth. A single room mostly, with a low sleeping place along one wall, a hearth in the corner, a shelf for the lamp, a few clay jars by the door. It is not much, but it is warm, and it is loved, and it is home. This is the house where Jesus grew up. Not a palace, not a fine and famous place, an ordinary home in an ordinary village in the hills of Galilee, where an ordinary family lived their ordinary days. And it was here, in this small and humble house, that the one who made the world learned to walk and to speak and to pray, held all the while in the love of a mother named Mary and a father named Joseph. There is something deeply comforting in that the holiest childhood in all of history was spent in such a humble, ordinary home, that greatness and goodness and holiness do not need grand places. They grow just as well, perhaps better, in small warm rooms, in loving families, in the quiet of ordinary days. Your own life, however small or ordinary it may feel tonight, is exactly the kind of place where holy things grow. You do not need anything grander than what you have. Rest tonight in the goodness of the ordinary, the way the child Jesus rested in a small warm house in a quiet village, held in love. Psalm 127, 3-4, and Psalm 128, 1-4, King James, Low. Children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. Blessed is every one that feareth the Lord, that walketh in his ways. For thou shalt eat the labor of thine hands, happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee. Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thine house, thy children like olive plants round about thy table. Mary remembers his first steps. Every mother does. The day the child let go of the edge of the table and stood swaying on his own two small feet, and then took one wobbling step and another across the stone floor toward her open hands. She had knelt a little way off and held out her arms and called to him softly, encouraging him, "Come, you can do it. Come to me." And he had looked at her, uncertain, and then, with that fierce, bright determination of small children, had let go and tottered toward her and fallen, laughing, into her waiting arms. How many times she caught him in those early days. How many times he fell and she lifted him and steadied him and set him on his feet again and let him try once more. That is how a child learns to walk. Not without falling, but by being caught and lifted and encouraged and allowed to try again by hands that love him and will not let him truly come to harm. You are learning to walk still in your own way all your life long, and you too are caught and lifted and steadied and set on your feet again by hands that love you. When you fall, you are not abandoned. You are gathered up and held and encouraged to try again. Rest tonight in those catching hands. You will not be let to fall beyond their reach. They are always there, ready to lift you. Psalm 37, 23, 24, King James Version. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. Whatever falls this day held, you have not been cast down. You are upheld by a hand stronger than your own. Rest in that upholding hand now and be still. And she remembers his first words, the slow, patient days of teaching him to speak, naming things for him over and over in the gentle way that mothers do. This is bread. This is water. This is lamp. This is mother. This is father. And the long, delighted wait until one day the small mouth shaped a word of its own, and the whole house seemed to brighten with it. It is a wondrous and patient thing to teach a child to speak, to pour out words day after day, long before the child can answer, trusting that they are sinking in, taking root, and that one day they will blossom into speech. And so they do. Slowly, quietly, one word at a time, until the child who could not speak at all is suddenly chattering away, full of questions, full of names, full of words that were patiently given long before they could be returned. So much love is like that, given long before it can be returned, poured out patiently into hearts that cannot yet answer, trusting that it is sinking in, taking root, and will one day blossom. Mary poured out words and songs and the old psalms of her people into the child Jesus, year after year, long before he could understand them all. And they took root, and they grew, and they became in time the very words he would speak to the world. You, too, have had words and love poured into you, more than you can remember, long before you could answer. And they are in you still, taking root, growing quietly. Rest tonight in the good words that have been given to you, the kind words, the true words, the words of love. Let them settle deeper as you sleep. Deuteronomy 6004:7 in James Verse. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words, which I command thee this day, shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. When thou liest down, and when thou risest up. The faith of her people was woven into the smallest moments of the day, into the lying down at night, into the rising in the morning, and so Mary wove it into the child, gently, in the ordinary moments, until it was part of the very rhythm of his days. Let it be part of yours, too, tonight. As you lie down, let a quiet trust settle over you and rest. As the boy grew, he spent his days more and more in the workshop beside Joseph, watching the patient work of the carpenter's hands, the long rasp of the plane along the wood, the careful measuring, the steady tap of the mallet, the smell of fresh-cut timber and curled shavings. Joseph taught him the way fathers have always taught their sons, not mostly with words, but by working beside him, letting him watch, then letting him try, guiding the small hands on the tool. Being patient with the crooked first attempts, praising the small successes. Slowly, year by year, the boy learned the trade, how to choose the wood, how to join it true, how to make a thing that was honest and useful and would last. There is a deep and quiet wisdom in honest work, learned at a patient father's side. The wisdom of taking pains, of doing a thing well, even when no one is watching, of making something true and lasting out of plain materials and careful hands. The one who would one day speak of building houses upon the rock first learned, here, in this small workshop, what it meant to build a thing that lasts. Rest tonight in the goodness of honest, ordinary work. Whatever your hands have done today, however small or unnoticed, there is dignity in it and worth. And now the work is laid down for the night. The tools are set in their place. The day's labor is finished. You may let your working hands grow still now and rest. Psalm 90:17 and Psalm 128:2, King James Version. And let the beauty of the Lord our God be upon us, and establish thou the work of our hands upon us. Yea, the work of our hands establish thou it. For thou shalt eat the labor of thine hands, happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee. In the evenings, when the work was done, the little family gathered around the low table to share their meal. A little bread, a little oil, some olives, some dried fig, a few lentils. Simple food and not much of it, but enough, and shared together in the warm light of the lamp. Before they ate, they paused and gave thanks, as her people always did. Joseph would speak the blessing over the bread, the few quiet, ancient words, thanking the one who brings forth bread from the earth. And then they would eat together and talk in the unhurried way of a family at the end of the day, and the small boy would listen and learn and grow. So much is taught at a family table that is never spoken aloud, that we belong to one another, that we are provided for, that the day's work earns the evening's bread, that it is good to pause and give thanks before we take what we are given. The child Jesus learned all of this, not from a lesson, but from 1,000 shared meals in the warm lamplight at his family's table. As you rest tonight, you might call to mind, with quiet gratitude, the simple gifts of your own day, the food you were given, the roof over you, the bed beneath you, the small mercies, easy to overlook. Let a quiet thankfulness settle over you now, the way it settled over that little table, and rest in the goodness of being provided for. Psalm 34, 8, 10, King James Version. O taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him. O fear the Lord, ye his saints, for there is no want to them that fear him. The young lions do lack and suffer hunger, but they that seek the Lord shall not want any good thing. The days in Nazareth turned on a steady round of small and necessary tasks. Each morning, Mary and the other women carried their jars down to the well at the edge of the village and drew the cool water and carried it home again, balanced carefully, for the day's cooking and washing. The boy would sometimes go with her in the cool of the morning and watch and help in his small way. And there was the grinding of the grain and the kneading of the dough and the baking of the bread, the tending of the small garden on the slope behind the house, the mending of the clothes, the sweeping of the floor, the lighting of the lamp at evening, and the banking of the fire at night. The same tasks, day after day, season after season, the quiet and faithful round of keeping a home. It is easy to think of such tasks as small and dull and unimportant, but they are the very threads that a life is woven from. The water carried, the bread baked, the home kept warm and clean and safe, the child fed and washed and held and put to bed. There is a deep holiness hidden in these small, repeated, faithful things. The childhood of the Savior of the world was built from exactly such ordinary days. Whatever small and unnoticed tasks filled your own day, there is worth in them, and quiet holiness. They are the threads your life is woven from. And now the day's round is finished, the water is carried, the bread is baked, the lamp is lit, the work is done. You may set it all down now, and rest, and let the quiet night keep what the day has made. Psalm 113:5-9 selected, King James Version. Who is like unto the Lord our God, who dwelleth on high, who humbleth himself to behold the things that are in heaven and in the earth. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust, and lifteth the needy out of the dunghill, that he may set him with princes, even with the princes of his people. He maketh the barren woman to keep house, and to be a joyful mother of children. Praise ye the Lord. In the quiet of the evenings, before sleep, Mary taught the boy the old songs of their people, the Psalms, the same psalms she had been taught as a child, and her mother before her, sung in homes like this one for 1,000 years. She taught them to him slowly, line by line, the way you teach a child a song. She would sing a line, and he would sing it back, again and again, night after night, until the words were his, hidden in his heart, ready to rise up in him whenever he needed them. All his life long, the shepherd's psalm, the traveler's psalm, the psalms of trust and thanks and quiet rest. There is no gift a parent gives that lasts longer than a song hidden in a child's heart. Long after the parent is gone, the song remains. It rises up in the dark. It steadies the heart in trouble. It returns, unbidden, in the night seasons, a gift given long ago, still giving. The Psalms Mary taught the child Jesus were in him to the very end, even upon the cross, where the words of an old psalm rose to his lips. Perhaps there are words hidden in your own heart, too, from long ago, words of comfort, songs from childhood, old, true things, planted deep, that rise up quietly when you need them. Let some of them rise now, gently, in the dark, and steady you, and carry you towards sleep. Psalm 119:9, 11, 105. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? by taking heed thereto according to thy word. Thy word have I hid in mine heart, that I might not sin against thee. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. It is the verse our whole channel is named for, a single small lamp, enough to light the next step in the dark. You do not need to see the whole path tonight, only the small circle of light around you. Only this breath, only this moment of rest. Let the lamp burn low and trust the little light and sleep. One day in every week, the whole village kept differently from all the rest. The day of rest, the Sabbath. When the sun went down to begin it, all the daily work simply stopped. The tools were laid down, the fields were left, the grinding stone was still, and in every home in Nazareth a lamp was lit, and the family sat together in its light and rested. The child Jesus grew up inside that holy rhythm. 6 days of work, and then a day of rest, woven into the very order of the week, as old as creation itself. For even the one who made the heavens and the earth, the old story said, rested on the 7th day, and blessed it, and made it holy. And so his people rested too, and called it good. It is a beautiful and almost forgotten idea in our restless world. That stopping is holy, that rest is not laziness and not weakness, but a gift and a commandment woven into the goodness of things from the very beginning. We are not only what we make or do or earn, we are also meant simply to rest and to be and to know that we are held whether we are working or not. You do not have to earn your rest tonight. You do not have to finish everything first, and only then be allowed to stop. Rest is a gift, laid quietly beside you, woven into the order of things, waiting only for you to receive it. Lie down now and receive the gift of rest, the way the child Jesus received it, every Sabbath, in the warm light of the lamp. Genesis 2002:3 and Exodus 20,008:10, King James Version. And on the 7th day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the 7th day, and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor, and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work. Psalm 92:1-4. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord, and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High, to shew forth thy loving kindness in the morning, and thy faithfulness every night. Upon an instrument of 10 strings, and upon the psaltery, upon the harp, with a solemn sound. For thou, Lord, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. Every child, the boy Jesus played. In the cool of the evenings, and on the days of rest, the children of Nazareth would gather in the narrow lanes and the open spaces of the village, and run and laugh and play the games that children have always played. Mary would watch him sometimes from the doorway, running with the others, his face bright, his laughter ringing off the stone walls, until the light began to fail, and the mothers called their children home, one by one, for the evening meal and bed. And he would come, flushed and happy and tired out from the playing, the way children do, ready to be fed and washed and held and put to bed. There is a deep sweetness in the simple play of children. It asks nothing. It earns nothing. It is pure delight, for its own sake, in the gift of being alive. the one who would one day say that we must become like little children to enter his kingdom, first learned here in the lanes of Nazareth, the simple joy of a child at play in the evening light. Perhaps you have forgotten, in the weariness of grown-up days, that simple joy, the delight that asks nothing and earns nothing. As you rest tonight, you might let a little of it return to you. The memory of evening games and easy laughter and the tiredness of a happy child at the end of a day well played. Let yourself be a tired child now, ready for bed, and rest without earning it, simply because it is good. Psalm 8001:2 and Matthew 18:3. O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth! Who has set thy glory above the heavens? Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings hast thou ordained strength, and said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted, and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Once each year, the family joined the great company of pilgrims and went up to Jerusalem for the feast. It was the journey of the year, looked forward to for months, a whole village traveling together, families and neighbors, the children running ahead, the old people setting the pace, all of them going up the long road to the holy city, singing the songs of ascent as they climbed. For the boy Jesus, it must have been a wonder. The long road through the hills, the nights camping with all the others, the first sight of the great city and the temple gleaming on its mount. The crowds, the music, the festival, the deep old joy of his people gathered together to worship. He grew up inside these journeys, year after year, learning the songs the pilgrims sang as they went. They sang of gladness at going up to the house of the Lord, of lifting their eyes to the hills, of the peace of the holy city. Slow, glad, ancient songs sung by tired and happy travelers on the long road up. Let a few of them rest over you now as we walk that old road in our minds toward the city and toward sleep. 2 Psalm 122:1-2, 6-7, King James. I was glad when they said unto me, Let us go into the house of the Lord. Our feet shall stand within thy gates, O Jerusalem. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. Peace be within thy walls, and prosperity within thy palaces. Psalm 84:5-7, King James Version. Blessed is the man whose strength is in thee, in whose heart are the ways of them, who passing through the valley of Baca make it a well, the rain also filleth the pools. They go from strength to strength, every one of them in Zion appeareth before God. They go from strength to strength. The long road did not wear them down. Step by step, it carried them up from strength to strength toward the holy city and the joy that waited there. Your own road, too, is carrying you from strength to strength, even on the tiring days, even tonight. Rest now, and let the night renew your strength for the next stretch of the climb. In the little house in Nazareth, the door was always open to the stranger, and the table always had room for one more. It was the way of her people, and the way of that home. When a traveler came through the village, weary and far from home, he was welcomed in and given water for his feet, and bread for his hunger, and a place to rest. The boy Jesus grew up watching this open-handed kindness day after day. He watched his mother share what little they had with those who had less. He watched his father make room at the table for the lonely and the passing stranger. He learned without a single lesson that what we have is given to be shared. and that there is a deep gladness in giving, and that the poor and the stranger are not a burden, but a gift and a chance to love. It is one of the most beautiful things a child can learn, that kindness costs little and gives much, that an open hand is happier than a closed one, that to share your bread with the hungry is to find your own darkness turned to light. The one who would one day feed the multitudes first learned, here in this small house, the simple joy of sharing bread with whoever was hungry at the door. As you rest tonight, you might remember, with quiet warmth, the kindnesses of your own day, given and received, the small mercies, the open doors, and you might rest in the gentle truth that you, too, are welcomed, always. At a table that has room for you, by a love that keeps the door open and the bread ready and the place set for you, however far you have wandered. You are welcome. Come in and rest. Isaiah 58:7-8, 10 King James Version. Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that are cast out to thy house? When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thine own flesh? Then shall thy light break forth as the morning, and thine health shall spring forth speedily. And if thou draw out thy soul to the hungry, and satisfy the afflicted soul, then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy darkness be as the noonday. Psalm 112:1, 459, King James Bird. Praise ye the Lord. Blessed is the man that feareth the Lord, that delighteth greatly in his commandments. Unto the upright there ariseth light in the darkness. He is gracious, and full of compassion, and righteous. A good man sheweth favor, and lendeth. He will guide his affairs with discretion. He hath dispersed, he hath given to the poor. His righteousness endureth forever. Unto the upright there ariseth light in the darkness. The kind heart carries its own light, even into the dark. Let the small kindnesses of your life be that light tonight, a gentle glow to rest beside, and sleep in peace. When autumn came to the hills of Galilee, the whole village turned out for the olive harvest. The families gathered beneath the ancient twisted trees and spread cloths on the ground and beat the branches gently with long poles, and the ripe olives rained down and were gathered up, basket by basket, to be pressed into the golden oil that would light the lamps and flavor the bread all through the year. The boy Jesus worked alongside the others, as all the children did, his small hands gathering olives from the cloths, his face bright in the autumn sun. And in the evenings, tired and content, the families would carry the harvest home, and there would be a quiet gladness over the village, the deep satisfaction of work done together, and the earth's good gifts gathered in. There is an old and honest joy in the harvest, the joy of long labor brought to fruit, the joy of the earth's faithfulness, giving back, year after year, far more than was sown. The boy who would one day speak of seeds and soil and harvests, and of a God who gives the increase, first learned it here beneath the olive trees, gathering the good gifts of the patient earth. Whatever you have labored at and waited for, and are still waiting to see come to fruit, take heart from the patient harvest. The seed sown in tears is gathered in joy in its own good time. Nothing faithful is finally wasted. For tonight the work is done, and the day is gathered in. Rest now, content, like a tired worker at the end of the harvest, and sleep. Psalm 104, 14, 15, King James Surrection. He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle, and herb for the service of man, that he may bring forth food out of the earth, and wine that maketh glad the heart of man, and oil to make his face to shine, and bread which strengtheneth man's heart. Psalm 126, King James from. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things for them. The Lord hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. If you have been sowing in tears, take this old promise into the night with you. The weeping is not the end of the story. The harvest of joy is coming, doubtless, surely, in its own good time. Rest in that promise now, and let the night carry you toward the morning. There was 1 year, when the boy was 12, that the journey to Jerusalem held a story Mary would never forget. We touched on it once before. Let us rest in it now, slowly, the way it is told. They had gone up to the feast, as they did every year, and when the feast was over, and the great company of pilgrims set out for home, the boy stayed behind in Jerusalem, and his parents did not know it. They thought he was among the company, with the cousins and the other children, the way he always was, and so they traveled a whole day's journey before they realized he was not there at all. Imagine the fear of that moment, the frantic searching among the travelers, and then the long, anxious road back to the great, crowded city, and 3 whole days of searching its streets before at last they found him. Not lost, not frightened, but sitting calmly in the temple, in the midst of the wise old teachers, listening to them and asking them questions, so that all who heard him were astonished at his understanding. Luke 2:41, 49, 51, 52, King James Version. Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. And when they had fulfilled the days, as they returned, the child Jesus tarried behind in Jerusalem, and Joseph and his mother knew not of it. But they, supposing him to have been in the company, went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinsfolk and acquaintance. And when they found him not, they turned back again to Jerusalem, seeking him. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. And his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I have sought thee sorrowing. And he said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Wist ye not that I must be about my father's business? And he went down with them, and came to Nazareth, and was subject unto them, but his mother kept all these sayings in her heart. And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature, and in favor with God and man. Even Mary, who trusted so deeply, knew days of fear and searching and not understanding. She was not spared the hard things of being a parent or a person. She simply carried them the way she carried everything, gently, kept in her heart, trusting that she did not have to understand it all at once. So if your own heart is not entirely at peace tonight, if there is something you are searching for or cannot understand, you are in good company. You do not have to solve it before you sleep. You may keep it gently in your heart the way she kept hers and lay it down for the night, and trust that the morning will hold what you cannot. And then they went home, back down the road to Nazareth, back to the small house and the ordinary days. And there the boy grew, quietly, year after year. He increased in wisdom and stature, the old account says, and in favor with God and man. He grew the way all children grow, slowly, a little each day, so gradually that you cannot see it happening, and then all at once you look, and the child is taller and wiser and surer and more himself. There is no hurrying it. A child grows in its own good time, like wheat in the field, like a tree on the hillside, like everything that is truly alive. And it happened, most of it, in the quiet, in the ordinary days, in the workshop, and at the table, and in the lanes, and at the lamplit evenings of teaching and song. Not in great events, but in the slow, faithful accumulation of ordinary days, the boy grew toward the man he would become. You are growing too, still, in ways you cannot see, even on the nights when it feels as though nothing in you is changing at all. And much of it happens in the quiet, in the rest, in the ordinary nights like this one. Sleep is part of how you grow. In the night, gently, without any effort of yours, the body mends, the mind settles, the soul is restored. You do not have to do it. You have only to rest and let yourself grow quietly in the dark. The years of the childhood of Jesus turned, like all years, through their slow and faithful seasons, the soft rains of winter soaking the dry hills, the green of spring, the wildflowers scattered across the slopes of Galilee, the long warm days of summer, the grain ripening in the fields, the harvest of autumn and the gathering in, and then the rains again, and the round began once more. A child learns the deep rhythm of the world by living through its seasons. The boy Jesus watched the rains come, and the seed sprout, and the grain grow, and the harvest gathered, year after year. He learned, without being taught, that there is a time for everything, a time to plant, and a time to reap, a time for rain, and a time for sun, a time to work, and a time to rest. The patient, faithful turning of the seasons, each in its own good time. There is deep peace in that ancient rhythm. You cannot hurry the spring, you cannot rush the harvest. Things grow and ripen and come to fullness in their own good time, and all the worrying in the world cannot hasten them. And so the wise heart learns to wait and to trust the seasons and to rest in the slow, faithful turning of things. Whatever season your own life is in tonight, a hard winter or a green spring, a time of waiting or a time of harvest, it will turn in its own good time, as all seasons do. You do not have to force it. You have only to live faithfully through it and trust and rest. Tonight is a time to rest. So rest and let the season be what it is, and trust the one who turns the year. Psalm 19,001:4-7-14, King James. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament sheweth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night sheweth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Psalm 65, 9, 13 selected, King James Version. Thou visitest the earth, and waterest it, thou greatly enrichest it with the river of God, which is full of water. Thou crownest the year with thy goodness, and thy paths drop fatness. They drop upon the pastures of the wilderness, and the little hills rejoice on every side. The pastures are clothed with flocks, the valleys also are covered over with corn. They shout for joy, they also sing. Thou crownest the year with thy goodness. Every season, in its turn, is crowned with goodness, even the hard ones, even the waiting ones. The goodness is woven through all of it. Trust it now, in this season of rest, and let the goodness of the night settle over you, and sleep. Let us rest now, for a while, in some of the very psalms that Mary would have taught the child Jesus, sung softly over him at bedtime, year after year, in the warm light of the lamp. There is nothing to do but listen and breathe, and let the old gentle words carry you down toward sleep, the way they carried him. First, the shepherd's psalm, the one every child of her people learned, the one the child Jesus surely knew by heart before he could read a word. Psalm 23, King James, Tom. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. The good shepherd does not drive his sheep. He leads them gently to good grass and still water, and a safe place to lie down. You are led the same way tonight, gently to a place of rest. Lie down now in the green pasture of the night, beside the still waters, and let your soul be restored. And the traveler's psalm, the song of lifting the eyes to the hills and being kept through all the going out and the coming in by the one who never sleeps. Psalm 121, King James Version. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper, the Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil, he shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Someone is awake tonight, so that you do not have to be. You are not the one keeping watch over the world. Let go of the watching now. You are kept. Simply rest, and let the one who never sleeps keep watch over your sleeping. And a simple song of thanks that a child could learn in an evening, the song of the people of his pasture, the sheep of his hand. Psalm 100, King James. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. serve the Lord with gladness, come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord he is God, it is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves, we are his people, and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name. For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations. It is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves. You did not make yourself. You do not have to hold yourself together tonight. You are made and kept and led like a sheep by a gentle shepherd. Lean back into that and rest. As the boy grew, he learned, as the children of Nazareth did, to read the Holy Scriptures. In the synagogue of the village, on the Sabbath, the scrolls were brought out and read aloud, and the old words were spoken over the gathered people. And at home, Mary and Joseph taught him the stories and the songs and the law until the Scriptures were woven into the very fabric of his mind. He learned the story of the beginning, when the world was made and called good. The story of the garden and the flood and the bow set in the clouds. The story of the old man called to follow a promise into the dark. The long story of his people, kept and led through every kind of trouble by a faithful and patient God who would not let them go. It was the slow, patient work of years. A child does not learn the Scriptures in a day. Word by word, story by story, psalm by psalm, they are planted and take root and grow until they become part of who the child is. And so the boy Jesus grew up steeped in the old words, hidden in his heart until he knew them as well as he knew his own breath. There is something steadying about old, true words learned long ago and carried always. They give the heart a place to stand. They rise up in the night, in trouble, in joy. Let the old words you carry rise up in you now, gently, in the dark, and steady you, and carry you toward sleep. Psalm 119, 97, 103, 105, 162, 165. O how love I thy law! It is my meditation all the day. How sweet are thy words unto my taste, yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. I rejoice at thy word, as one that findeth great spoil. Great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. The days of the household were framed, at each end, by prayer. In the morning, when the family rose, they gave thanks for the new day, and asked to be led through it. And in the evening, when the work was done, and the lamp was lit, they gave thanks again, and committed the night, and themselves, into faithful hands. The boy Jesus grew up inside this gentle rhythm of prayer, not long, anxious prayers, just the simple, faithful lifting of the heart, morning and evening, the turning toward God at the beginning and the end of each day. It became as natural to him as breathing, and it shaped him, quietly, day by day, into a man whose whole life would be a kind of prayer. There is deep peace in framing the day with prayer, in beginning it by handing it over and ending it by laying it down. You do not have to carry the day alone, from waking to sleeping. You may give it in the morning into hands wiser than yours, and receive it back in the evening and lay it down again and rest. So let this be your evening prayer now, wordless if you wish, just the quiet turning of the heart. The day is over. I lay it down. I commit the night and myself into your keeping. And then rest, as the boy Jesus rested every evening in the faithful hands that held him through the night. Psalm 5:3, Psalm 143:8, Psalm 4:8 King James Version. My voice shalt thou hear in the morning, O Lord. In the morning will I direct my prayer unto thee, and will look up. Cause me to hear thy loving kindness in the morning, for in thee do I trust. Cause me to know the way wherein I should walk, for I lift up my soul unto thee. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. Lay yourself down now in that same peace. The day is given, the night is committed, you are kept. There is nothing left to do but rest. So rest in peace and sleep. Beyond the Psalms and the stories, Mary taught the boy the old wisdom of their people, the gentle proverbs that a mother passes to her child about how to live and how to be kind and how to trust. Trust with all your heart, she would teach him. Do not lean only on your own understanding. In all your ways remember him, and he will make your paths straight. It is the quiet, practical wisdom of generations handed down, mother to child, in the small moments of ordinary days. Be honest, be kind, be patient. Do not fret. Trust, forgive. These are not grand lessons taught in a single dramatic moment. They are small seeds planted again and again in the soil of a child's heart until they take root and grow and become the very shape of a life. And there is one piece of that old wisdom especially gentle for the night. When you lie down, it says, you shall not be afraid, yea, you shall lie down, and your sleep shall be sweet. It is a promise and an invitation to lie down without fear, to let sleep be sweet, to trust that you are kept through the dark. Receive that old wisdom now, as the child Jesus received it from his mother. Trust, and do not lean only on your own understanding. Lay down your fear with the day, and let your sleep be sweet tonight, the way a child's sleep is sweet, who knows he is loved and kept and safe. Proverbs 3, 5, 6, 11, 12, 24, King James Versiclam. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid, yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. On warm, clear nights, the family would sometimes sit on the flat roof of the house in the cool of the evening and look up at the great sky full of stars. And Mary would tell the boy the old truths her people held about that vast and shining dark, that the one who made it all had set every star in its place and knew each one and called them all by name. Imagine the wonder of a child looking up at all that uncountable light and being told that the one who made it knows each star by name and knows him too and loves him and keeps him. The sky so vast, the stars so many, and yet not one of them forgotten, and not one small child beneath them overlooked. It is a wonder that never grows old, to be small beneath so great a sky, and yet to be known and named and loved by the one who made it all. The boy Jesus learned it here, on the rooftop, in his mother's company, looking up at the stars, and he would carry it all his life, that the God who numbers the stars is the same God who counts the hairs of our heads and notices the fall of a single sparrow and knows and keeps each small and ordinary soul. Let that same wonder settle over you now. You are small beneath a vast sky, and you are known completely and named and loved by the one who set the stars in their places. You are not lost in the dark. You are not forgotten. You are known and kept all through the night. Rest in being known beneath the faithful stars and sleep. Psalm 8003:4 and Psalm 147:3-5 King James Version. When I consider thy heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars, which thou hast ordained, what is man that thou art mindful of him, and the son of man that thou visitest him? He healeth the broken in heart, and bindeth up their wounds. He telleth the number of the stars, he calleth them all by their names. Great is our Lord, and of great power, his understanding is infinite. He healeth the broken in heart, and bindeth up their wounds. He telleth the number of the stars. The same hand that numbers the stars binds up the broken heart, the vast and the tender in one gentle keeping. Whatever is broken in you tonight, it is held in the same hands that hold the stars. Rest there and be bound up and healed in the quiet of the night. Let us rest now in more of the old songs that filled that home in Nazareth. The psalms of shelter and refuge and being kept through every danger of the night. The songs the boy Jesus knew by heart. Let them wash gently over you, the way they washed over him, and carry you toward sleep. Hear the great old song of the one who dwells in the secret place of the Most High and abides, unafraid, under the shadow of the Almighty. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him, I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him, and shew him my salvation. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night. Whatever fears walk in your own darkness, let this old song quiet them now. You are covered, you are sheltered, you are kept under wings all through the dark hours until the morning. Rest beneath those wings and do not be afraid. Hear the old song of the refuge that cannot be shaken, and the stillness in which the heart can simply know that God is God. Psalm 46, 1, 3, 10, 11, King Jameson. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen, I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us, the God of Jacob is our refuge. Be still, and know that I am God. There is nothing left to do tonight but that. To be still, to stop striving and grasping and worrying, to grow quiet and know that He is God and you are kept and all is well. Be still now and know and rest. Break time post 6s. Hear now the great song of mercy that calls the whole soul to bless the Lord and remember His benefits and rest in a love as high as the heavens, a pity as gentle as a father's for his children. Psalm 103, 1:5, 8, 11, 14, King James Version. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me, bless His holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all His benefits, who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases, who redeemeth thy life from destruction, who crowneth thee with loving kindness and tender mercies, who satisfieth thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagles. The Lord is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and plenteous in mercy. For as the heaven is high above the earth, so great is His mercy toward them that fear Him. As far as the east is from the west, so far hath He removed our transgressions from us. Like as a father pitieth his children, so the Lord pitieth them that fear Him. For He knoweth our frame, He remembereth that we are dust. He knoweth our frame, He remembereth that we are dust. He knows how tired you are. He knows how small and frail and weary the human frame can be. He does not ask more of you than you can give. He pities you, gently, like a father pitying his tired child. So you may stop pretending to be strong tonight. You may simply be dust, and be loved, and be pitied, and rest in the tender mercy that knows your frame. And hear the song of the goodness that is good to all, and near to all who call, and upholds all that fall, and satisfies the desire of every living thing. Psalm 145, 8, 9, 14, 18, King James Verse. The Lord is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger, and of great mercy. The Lord is good to all, and His tender mercies are over all His works. The Lord upholdeth all that fall, and raiseth up all those that be bowed down. The eyes of all wait upon Thee, and Thou givest them their meat in due season. Thou openest Thine hand, and satisfiest the desire of every living thing. The Lord is righteous in all His ways, and holy in all His works. The Lord is nigh unto all them that call upon Him, to all that call upon Him in truth. Break time 6:6. The Lord upholdeth all that fall, and raiseth up all those that be bowed down. Whatever has bowed you down today, whatever weight you have carried, let it rest now in the hands that uphold all who fall. You do not have to hold yourself up tonight. You are upheld. Lean your full weight on that and rest. Hear the song of light and confidence of the one whose light and salvation is the Lord, and who therefore has nothing left to fear. Psalm 27:1, 4:5, 13, 14. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life, of whom shall I be afraid? One thing have I desired of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. For in the time of trouble He shall hide me in His pavilion, in the secret of His tabernacle shall He hide me, He shall set me up upon a rock. I had fainted, unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and He shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Each break time 5s. Hear the song of the one who sought the Lord and was heard, and delivered from every fear, and learn that the Lord is near to the brokenhearted, and good beyond all telling. Psalm 34, 4, 8, 17, 19, 22. I sought the Lord, and he heard me, and delivered me from all my fears. O taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all. The Lord redeemeth the soul of his servants, and none of them that trust in him shall be desolate. Delivered me from all my fears. Let your own fears be delivered now, gently, one by one, into faithful hands, until there are none left to keep you from your rest. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted. He is near to you. You are not desolate. You are not alone. Rest in his nearness, and sleep, and hear the gentle song of the soul that waits upon God alone, and is not greatly moved, because its rock and its refuge is in him. Psalm 62, 1-2-5-8, King James Brame. Truly my soul waiteth upon God, from him cometh my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation, he is my defense, I shall not be greatly moved. My soul, wait thou only upon God, for my expectation is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation, he is my defense, I shall not be moved. In God is my salvation and my glory, the rock of my strength, and my refuge is in God. Trust in him at all times, ye people. Pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. Pour out your heart before him. Whatever fills your heart tonight, pour it out gently before the one who is your refuge. You do not have to hold it all in. Pour it out and then rest in the refuge and wait upon him only, and be still. He is your rock. You shall not be moved. Rest now and sleep. Let us rest now in the gentlest psalms of all, the psalms of lying down and sleeping and being kept through the night, the very ones a mother sings over a child at bedtime. Let them carry you down the way they carried the child Jesus into the deep peace of sleep. Psalm 4:1, 468, King James Version. Hear me when I call, O God of my righteousness, thou hast enlarged me when I was in distress. Have mercy upon me, and hear my prayer. Stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart upon your bed, and be still. There be many that say, Who will shew us any good? Lord, lift thou up the light of thy countenance upon us. Thou hast put gladness in my heart, more than in the time that their corn and their wine increased. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. Commune with your own heart upon your bed, and be still. Lie quiet now, and let your heart grow still. The striving of the day is over. There is nothing to do but be still, and lay yourself down in peace and sleep. Psalm 3003:5. But thou, O Lord, art a shield for me, my glory, and the lifter up of mine head. I cried unto the Lord with my voice, and he heard me out of his holy hill. I laid me down and slept. I awaked, for the Lord sustained me. Psalm 16,007:9-11. I will bless the Lord, who hath given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night seasons. I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also shall rest in hope. Thou wilt shew me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures for evermore. Psalm 134, Dam. Behold, bless ye the Lord, all ye servants of the Lord, which by night stand in the house of the Lord. Lift up your hands in the sanctuary, and bless the Lord. The Lord that made heaven and earth bless thee out of Zion. My flesh also shall rest in hope. Let your whole body rest now in that same quiet hope, not in fear, not in striving, in hope. The settled hope of a heart that has set the Lord before it. I laid me down and slept, and the Lord sustained me. May it be so for you tonight. Rest now and sleep. Hear the gentle counsel that quiets a fretful heart. Trust and do good and delight and commit your way, and then rest and wait patiently. Psalm 37:3-7. Trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way. Commit thy way unto the Lord, and he shall bring it to pass. You do not have to force your own way through the night. Commit it gently into faithful hands and rest, and let it be brought to pass without your striving. Hand it all over now and rest. Psalm 41:3. I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. He brought me up also out of an horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my goings. And he hath put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our God. Many shall see it, and fear, and shall trust in the Lord. Psalm 116:1-2, 7-9, James. I love the Lord, because he hath heard my voice and my supplications. Because he hath inclined his ear unto me, therefore will I call upon him as long as I live. Return unto thy rest, O my soul, for the Lord hath dealt bountifully with thee. For thou hast delivered my soul from death, mine eyes from tears, and my feet from falling. I will walk before the Lord in the land of the living. Psalm 31:1-3, 5 King James, sir. In thee, O Lord, do I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in thy righteousness. Be thou my strong rock, for an house of defense to save me, for thou art my rock and my fortress. Therefore for thy name's sake lead me, and guide me. Into thine hand I commit my spirit. Thou hast redeemed me, O Lord God of truth. Return unto thy rest, O my soul. He has dealt bountifully with you. Whatever else this day held, you have been carried to this quiet hour, and you are kept, and you are loved. So return now, gently, unto your rest. Into his hand commit your spirit, and rest, and sleep. Hear the old song of the one who is fully known and fully kept wherever he goes, even into the darkness, even at the edges of the world. There is no place where you are not held. Psalm 139:1-3, 7:12, 17:18, King James Version. O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my downsitting and mine uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off. Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways. Whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning, and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. Yea, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee. How precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O God! How great is the sum of them! When I awake, I am still with thee. The night shineth as the day. The darkness is not dark to him. So you may give yourself fully to the dark tonight, without fear, knowing that the one who keeps you sees in it as clearly as in the noonday. And when you awake, you will still be with him. Rest in that, all through the night. Psalm 91, 2, 14, 17. Lord, thou hast been our dwelling place in all generations. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hadst formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting thou art God. O satisfy us early with thy mercy, that we may rejoice and be glad all our days. And let the beauty of the Lord our God be upon us, and establish thou the work of our hands upon us. Psalm 36,005-9, James Sum. Thy mercy, O Lord, is in the heavens, and thy faithfulness reacheth unto the clouds. How excellent is thy loving kindness, O God! Therefore the children of men put their trust under the shadow of thy wings. They shall be abundantly satisfied with the fatness of thy house, and thou shalt make them drink of the river of thy pleasures. For with thee is the fountain of life. In thy light shall we see light. Thou hast been our dwelling place in all generations. Long before you were born, and long after, he is the home the soul returns to. Return to that dwelling place now. You are home. You are kept. Rest and sleep. Hear the song of the one who remembers God upon his bed, and meditates on him in the night watches, and rests in the shadow of his wings. Psalm 63:1, 5-8, King James Version. O God, thou art my God, early will I seek thee. My soul thirsteth for thee, my flesh longeth for thee, in a dry and thirsty land, where no water is. My soul shall be satisfied as with marrow and fatness, and my mouth shall praise thee with joyful lips, when I remember thee upon my bed, and meditate on thee in the night watches. Because thou hast been my help, therefore in the shadow of thy wings will I rejoice. My soul followeth hard after thee, thy right hand upholdeth me. Psalm 42:1, 2, 8, 11, King James Verses. As the hart panteth after the water brooks, so panteth my soul after thee, O God. My soul thirsteth for God, for the living God. When shall I come and appear before God? Yet the Lord will command his loving kindness in the daytime, and in the night his song shall be with me, and my prayer unto the God of my life. Why art thou cast down, O my soul? And why art thou disquieted within me? Hope thou in God, for I shall yet praise him, who is the health of my countenance, and my God. In the night his song shall be with me. There is a song in this night, a quiet song of loving kindness, playing softly beneath the silence, just for you. You do not have to hear it with your ears. You have only to rest in it and let it hold you all through the dark. Psalm 1001:3, King James Versions. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season, his leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Like a tree planted by the rivers of water, rooted, watered, unhurried, bearing fruit in its own good season, and not before. You do not have to force your fruit tonight. You have only to stay rooted by the quiet water and rest and trust the season. Rest now, deep-rooted and watered, and sleep. Hear the old invitation to come and bow and rest as the sheep of his hand, the people of his pasture, kept and led by a gentle shepherd. Psalm 95, 1-3, 6-7 King James verse. O come, let us sing unto the Lord. Let us make a joyful noise to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before his presence with thanksgiving, and make a joyful noise unto him with psalms. For the Lord is a great God, and a great King above all gods. O come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker. For he is our God, and we are the people of his pasture and the sheep of his hand. Psalm 33, 4, 9, 20-22, King James Verful. For the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth. He loveth righteousness and judgment. The earth is full of the goodness of the Lord. By the word of the Lord were the heavens made, and all the host of them by the breath of his mouth. For he spake, and it was done, he commanded, and it stood fast. Our soul waiteth for the Lord, he is our help and our shield. Let thy mercy, O Lord, be upon us, according as we hope in thee. Psalm 138,007-8 King James Version. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, thou wilt revive me, and thy right hand shall save me. The Lord will perfect that which concerneth me. Thy mercy, O Lord, endureth forever. Forsake not the works of thine own hands. The Lord will perfect that which concerneth me. Whatever is unfinished in your life tonight, you do not have to perfect it yourself. He will, gently, in his own time. Lay down the unfinished things now, and trust them to the hand that will perfect them, and rest. And now, as the evening draws toward its close, hear the old blessings, the words laid like a gentle hand over countless heads on countless nights for thousands of years. Let them rest now over you. Numbers 6:24-26. The Lord bless thee, and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee, and give thee peace. Lamentations 3:22-26, King James First Year. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, saith my soul, therefore will I hope in him. The Lord is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord. Romans 15:13 and 2 Thessalonians 3:16. Now the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, that ye may abound in hope, through the power of the Holy Ghost. Now the Lord of peace himself give you peace always by all means. The Lord be with you all. His compassions fail not, they are new every morning. Whatever this day held, his mercy is not used up. It will be there, fresh, in the morning, waiting for you. So you may let this day go completely now, and rest, and trust the new mercies of the morning. The Lord of peace himself give you peace. Rest now and sleep. And so we come each night to the gentlest part of the day, the putting of the child to bed. When the playing was done, and the meal was eaten, and the lamp was burning low, Mary would settle the boy onto his sleeping mat, and draw the blanket over him, and sing softly one of the old psalms until his breathing slowed, and his eyes grew heavy, and he drifted off to sleep. She would kneel beside him a while, and watch him sleep, the way mothers do. The slow, even breathing, the peaceful face, the small hand curled on the blanket, and she would hold quietly in her heart all the wonder and the mystery and the fierce, tender love of being his mother. She did not understand all of it. She simply loved him and kept him and treasured him night after ordinary night. There is no deeper picture of peace than a child asleep, watched over by a love that will not leave. And that same watchful love is keeping you tonight. You are not putting yourself to bed alone in the dark. You are watched over as tenderly as Mary watched the sleeping Jesus, by a love that knows you and keeps you and treasures you and will not leave you through the night. So let yourself be put to bed now, like a beloved child. Let the blanket be drawn up. Let the lamp be turned low. Let an old, gentle song be sung over you, and let yourself drift off, safe and watched and loved, into the deep peace of sleep. Psalm 131, King James Version. Lord, my heart is not haughty, nor mine eyes lofty, neither do I exercise myself in great matters, or in things too high for me. Surely I have behaved and quieted myself as a child that is weaned of his mother. My soul is even as a weaned child. Let Israel hope in the Lord from henceforth and forever. The house is quiet now. The boy is asleep. The lamp is low. The fire is banked. The day's work is done, and the day's love is given, and all is well in the little home in Nazareth. Outside, the village sleeps. The hills are dark and still. The stars keep their slow and faithful watch over the small house and the sleeping child and the tender mother, and over you wherever you are resting now. And there is nothing left for you to do tonight, nothing to finish, nothing to carry, nothing to solve. The day is over, the work is laid down, you are watched over and kept and loved. Only this breath now, in the warm and gentle dark, in the small, steady light growing softer, in the deep, ordinary peace of that quiet home in Nazareth settling over you now like a blanket drawn gently over a sleeping child. Whatever you have heard tonight, let it settle in you slowly. Some of it you may remember in the morning. Most of it you will not, and that is all right. It was only ever meant to carry you gently down into rest. If you are somehow still with us, thank you for spending this quiet evening in Nazareth with us. And if you have already drifted off, somewhere in that warm little home, in the soft light of the lamp, thank you for that too. This evening was for both kinds of listener. We will be here again with another quiet evening, another gentle corner of the old story. Until then, may the peace of that little home in Nazareth rest over you and keep you all through the night. Sleep well, and thank you for being here at Lamplight Scripture.